Hey everyone, my name is Sal Cincotta, and I am a wedding and portrait photographer based in O'Fallon, Illinois. And like many of you, I am a small business owner. And today I want to talk to you about the CARES Act that has just been passed and really what it means for small businesses. I think it's very confusing what just came out. As you can imagine, the government put this relief package very quickly, put it together very quickly, and it's important for all of us as small business owners to understand. Now, I am a photographer, but I am talking to every small business owner, and I'm going to give you a breakdown of the CARES Act and what it means for your business. So right out of the gate, the CARES Act stands for the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act, which allocated $350 billion for small businesses. And it sounds like it's a lot of money and something to get excited about, but this is unprecedented as a business, right? Normally businesses, we're in a society and an economy of capitalism, and it's up to us to go out there and earn our way. And I usually believe in that wholeheartedly. But right now, what is happening to businesses around the world is just unprecedented. And small business owners are panicking. They're laying off employees. They're furloughing employees. And it is going to have a devastating ripple effect through the U.S. economy because, let's be honest, when this is over, who's buying your product or service? It's those very people that are getting laid off right now. And without jobs and income, their first priority is not going to be spending their way to recovery. Their first priority is going to be putting food on the table, paying their rents, their mortgages, and taking care of their hierarchy of needs. So what I want to do today is just kind of break down what it means for you and your business, and also keep in mind it is still fluid. So while this has just passed, it's going to be a couple of more weeks before businesses like yours and mine have all the details we need to start implementing this. But if you finish watching this video, hopefully I will kind of breadcrumb you through what to expect, and most importantly, what documents you're going to need to be ready for when these loans and programs open up. So let's talk about it, right? But before we get started, I just want to talk to everybody out there. Panic is contagious, okay? And it's really easy right now, myself included. I have 40 employees. It is very easy for us to panic and just have a knee-jerk reaction with what's going on, right? Because that hierarchy of needs, we're trying to protect our business, our families, but we have to understand that there is a ripple effect. And so while panic is contagious, I'm telling you, so too is optimism. And so right now, I'm choosing to be more optimistic that someday this will be over. We have no choice, right? If it's not over, that means the zombie apocalypse has come, and then none of this matters anyway. So let's together, as small business owners, be more optimistic as you can. I understand, of course, and start looking for positive ways to alter the course of what's about to happen here and keep our businesses healthy, keep it on the forefront of our customers. Start investing back into our business and focus on some of the things, well, we're all guilty of putting on that back burner because we wish we had more time. Well, guess what? You've got plenty of time right now, probably more time than you'd like to admit. And so, as a business owner, here are some things that I'm working on within my business, and hopefully that it can inspire you and motivate you to start focusing on some of those more positive things. Update your websites. We are all guilty of not having our websites updated, myself included. And so now is the perfect time to step back, go through your websites, get rid of some of those ugly pictures, those bad pictures, update your portfolio with maybe new edits, things that are more representative of your current style, update your blogs, update any of your forward communication to your customers. Work on social media. This is so important right now that our customers know we're still in business. Remember, this isn't just if you are a photographer, this is any kind of business owner. It is so important to stay in contact and stay relevant as a business. We cannot give up and just say, screw it, I'm going to sit home and watch the news and all the negativity that's going on every day. That is the worst thing you can do for your mental health and the worst thing you can do for your business. Okay, focus on SEO, search engine optimization. Again, all of us know how important this is, but all of us, many of us, will freely admit we're too busy, we don't have enough time, et cetera, et cetera. Well, spend that time and get your business, your website, your search engine optimization ready for when this thing ticks back up, we are ready to go as a business, right? We have to prepare for the eventual upswing versus focusing on all the negativity. Get motivated. You have to get motivated. Refuse to quit. I refuse to give up on my people. I refuse to give up on my business. I'm not ready to give up yet. Yeah, it sucks. The last couple of weeks, all the economic news, watching us lose customers, watching us lose revenue, it is exhausting. It makes you want to curl up and cry in a corner. We can't do that. We are the leaders of this economy. Together, small business owners, we are the future. We cannot give up on this. We cannot give up on our people. And maybe you don't have a lot of employees. Maybe you just have one or two part-time people. Every person matters. Maybe you're a sole proprietor. You matter, right? So we've got to keep pushing forward and be positive here. Again, work on all those projects that you wish you had more time for. Now is the time. You have more time. Focus on those things. Of course, again, I'm re-emphasizing this. Communicate with your customers. Let them know you're still here. You're still looking to succeed. Engage with them. Find all sorts of unique ways to engage with them online via social media. Remember, your customers are trapped at home too. They're going nuts right now looking for something to do. You can only watch Netflix for so long. We need things to keep our mind off it, and so too do your customers, okay? So let's circle back around to the CARES Act. What is this all about? It's about small businesses. So these are 100% federally guaranteed loans to small businesses who maintain their payroll during the emergency. This is so important to understand how this is going to apply to you. What the federal government is trying to do is stop small businesses like yours, like mine, from laying people off. It will have a ripple effect of devastating proportions across the entire economy. There will be no recovery. There will be riots. There will be people homeless, unemployed, right? No way to pay their bills. We can't let that happen. And so the government is trying to trickle this down by encouraging small business owners like yourself, like myself, to maintain our employee base. And this is what this is all about. So this is more than just a loan, by the way. It's not just a loan that you're going to have to pay back. And we're going to talk about that in a second. These loans will be forgiven if the employer maintains the payroll during the crisis or restores payroll after. And we'll talk about that in a second as well. So again, the goal is to ensure we don't have massive layoffs, which will have that ripple effect. That is the ultimate goal. I like some of the things they're doing. Some of the details are not completely vetted out yet. More will be coming in the upcoming weeks. Now, warning, right? I'm already telling you, not all the details have been released yet, meaning the implementation part of this, we don't all know. Or am I going to be able to go to a local bank? Am I going to have to go to the SBA? Will the guidelines be loosened? What does the loan application look like? What tax returns or tax documents do I need? All of that will come up in the next few days and weeks, and I will update you as that is released. So first up, are you even eligible? That's the first question you should be asking yourself. And so you are eligible if you're a small business with fewer than 500 employees. Now, that 500 employee number includes part-time, full-time, etc., right? So it's not just your full-time employees. Now, if you're a small business like myself, I have 40 employees. I'm clearly in there. If you have one or two, you're going to qualify for that as well. Even if you're a sole proprietor, you're going to qualify for this. It's a small business that meets the SBA size standards. You could be a 501c3 with fewer than 500 employees. An individual who operates as a sole proprietor. Many photographers out there are operating as sole proprietors. So this is where we fall into this. An individual who operates as an independent contractor. One who is self-employed, carries on any trade or business, any trade to be defined, I'm sure. A tribal business concern that, again, meets the SBA size, or a 501c19, which is a veteran organization that, again, meets the SBA size requirements, okay? So if you're a small business, a photographer, photography studio, you more than likely qualify for what is about to happen here, or the funding that will be released. Now, the question is, how much can you borrow? And there were all sorts of rumors going around on how much you could borrow, and it wasn't until the other day that the details were finally released. You're going to be able to borrow 2.5 times your average monthly payroll, not to exceed $10 million. My payroll is not $10 million, so I think most of us are covered under that. But 2.5 times your payroll, average monthly payroll. So this is huge, right? They're allowing us to borrow enough money to carry a 2.5-month window with our employees. Now, that doesn't mean that the economy is going to be back up and running in 2.5 months. We all know at this moment there's a lot of uncertainty. What it does mean, though, is they are helping us get enough information or enough money to carry us a certain amount of time. I would guess that if in 2.5 months we're still under quarantine, there's going to be some bigger issues, and there's probably going to be another round of economic stimulus. So as of right now, this is what we can go after, and this is a very good number. I'm happy with that number right now. If you are not operational, this is very important, in 2019, they'll look at payroll from January and February of 2020. So for those of you who are new businesses, there's still opportunity for you to protect your business. Now, something interesting, seasonal employers, that's going to be a little bit different, right? We all know that you're going to have this ebb and flow to your business. And so what they're going to allow you to do is grab 2.5 times the average monthly payments for payroll costs for a 12-week period beginning either February 15th or March 1st. Which you'll be able to decide on that, and ending June 30th. So again, you can see where the U.S. government's head is on when this is going to last, right? They're going through June right now, and who knows, they may have to extend that. So again, this is important information if you start reading between the lines. Now, right, we're talking about average monthly payroll. What does that include? And so there's two types of payroll calculations that we're going to have to make. And again, not all the information is fully available yet. But there's that of an employer and that of an independent. An employer is self-explanatory. I've got employees, I'm employing people, I'm a small business. An independent, though, is a little bit different. That's a sole proprietor, a contractor, those who are otherwise just self-employed with no employees. So they're not excluding those people, which is very good news, because if you are self-employed or sole proprietor, you're still part of the economic engine in this country, and they're including you in this as well. And so for employers, let's dive into that. This is the sum of payments of any compensation with respect to an employee, that is salary, wage, commission, or similar compensation, payment of cash tip or equivalent. This is also important for restaurants, things like that. Payment for vacation, parental, family, medical, or sick leave, allowance for dismissal or separation, payments required for provisions of group health care benefits, including insurance premiums, payment of any retirement benefit, payment of state and local tax assessed on the compensation of the employee. And so this is what's going to qualify when you start adding things up. Now, if we look at this practically speaking, if you're an employer, you're using some sort of payroll software, right? So for us, we use Intuit. This data is going to be there very easy for you to have access to. So my recommendation to you is, rather than getting caught up in all the mechanics and confusion of these bullets, is work with your payroll software and get an export of that, because this is what you're going to be using to go to the bank to acquire this loan. This is what's going to be important for you, right? So it's an easy export out of your payroll system to have all this information in an easy to use format. For an independent, this is what's going to qualify. For sole proprietors, independent contractors, and self-employed individuals, it's the sum of payments of any compensation to or income of a sole proprietor or independent contractor. That is a wage, commission, income, net earnings from self-employment, or similar compensation that is an amount that is not more than $100,000 in 1 year, as prorated for the covered period. And so this statement is a little confusing to me. I think they're going to have to add more clarity, because in one sense, it's reading that your compensation is not more than $100,000 in 1 year. Then it's saying it's prorating it for the covered period. And so I think we're going to have to get a little more clarity on what that means for sole proprietor. Meaning, if you're a sole proprietor and you're not paying yourself a salary, there might be some problems here for you, right? Because you're not paying yourself anything. It's just going back into the business. So that might be a point of contention. You may want to talk to your accountant and get a little bit more clarity on this once this is released, or more details are released. But as it reads today, as I'm reading it, this is saying similar compensation, wage, commission, income, net earnings from self-employment. So it's not just, it's reading a little tricky. So either it's going to include your self-employment, or there's going to be caveats to it. And so as I'm reading it, it's a little confusing, but I'm being a little bit more optimistic. I'm reading this to mean your net earnings from self-employment. So even if you're not paying a salary, you're still going to qualify on those earnings. But like I said, we'll update this as we go. Now, what is excluded? Okay, so you're going to take what is included minus what's excluded, and that's going to be the amount. Compensation of individual employees in excess of an annual salary of $100,000, as prorated for the period Feb 15th through June 30th, 2020. So if you're getting an annual salary of over $100,000, this is not going to be included as it reads today. Payroll taxes, railroad retirement taxes, income taxes, any compensation of an employee whose principal place of residence is outside the United States, qualified sick leave wages for which credit is allowed under the Families First Coronavirus Response Act. Okay, so this is what's going to be subtracted from it, and that's what you're going to go to. So remember, the easiest way to deal with this is get a copy of your payroll and your tax returns. These are going to be the things you need. So as I'm talking to you here today, I'm telling you, don't waste time, because once the floodgates open on this, we're all going to be waiting in the same line to get access to this information. So it is this money. So it is imperative that you start preparing now. Make sure your tax returns, whether they're 2019 or 2018, are ready and available. You've got copies of them, and start printing out reports from your payroll company so that you have these readily available. Now, here's the beautiful part. This is where the forgiveness program comes into play. The loan will be forgiven assuming you meet certain criteria, meaning you do certain things with the money. The goal of this loan was not to make people like me or you as a small business owner rich. It's to mitigate It's to mitigate the risk that is associated with carrying all these employees, right? They don't want to see small businesses just start laying people off. That would be devastating. And so this is meant to help mitigate that. And again, I think they're doing a good job right now. So you're eligible for loan forgiveness if you spend it on the following items during the 8-week period beginning on the date of the origination of the loan. First and foremost, as I've explained, your payroll costs. So as long as you're paying the qualified payroll costs that we just covered, that is going to be absolved in that loan. You're not going to owe that money back. That is great news, guys. Interest on the mortgage obligation incurred in the ordinary course of business. So if you're a business like myself, I own this building, I still have rent and mortgage payments we have to make. We're going to be absolved of that interest payment on that. If you're renting or part of a leasing agreement, that part of it will be absolved. So again, that's great for small studio owners. Don't stop paying your rent. This will help you cover that and help you during that downtime, okay? So this, again, is great, great news. Payments on your utilities, electric, gas, water, telephone, internet. If you've got tipped employees, additional wages paid to those employees to cover them during this time. So now here's common sense. The loan forgiveness cannot exceed the principal, right? So they're not going to forgive you for more than you borrowed. So you've got to make sure you're borrowing based on the formula that they have in front of you. Now, can the loan forgiveness be reduced? Meaning you go into the bank, you borrow $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, whatever the number is, based on your projections. If you don't do the right thing with that money, it is going to reduce how much will be forgiven. So yes, remember, the goal is to keep businesses moving forward and prevent them from laying off employees. So you can't go to the bank, get this loan, and then lay off your entire staff. That is not going to work. You're going to get hammered on that. But the amount of loan forgiveness is reduced if there's a reduction in the number of employees. So if you borrow this money and reduce your employees, you're going to owe that money back, or the reduction of wages. So for example, let's just say you're paying your employees an annual salary of $30,000 a year, and you reduce that salary during slow time right now, more than 25%, you're going to get hammered and owe that money back. So again, the spirit of what the federal government is doing right now is to help businesses stay in business and not lay off their employees to cut costs. It's helping us mitigate it. We've got to take care of our employees. If we don't take care of our employees, they're not going to be around when the economy starts recovering. They're not going to have money to spend. So we've got to keep our employees whole when they come back, right? There should be no resentment. And this is the way to do it, guys. And so, but what if we did furlough some employees, right? Because we just had no choice, right, in the interim. Well, reduction in employment of wages occurred during the period beginning February 15th and ending 30 days after the enactment of the CARE Act shall not reduce the amount of loan forgiveness if by June 30th you bring those employees back, okay? So maybe in the beginning you panicked, you laid some people off, but if you go in and get these loans and bring those employees back, right, all is going to be forgiven there. So that's also very important. and lends back to the spirit of this loan. And so what's going to be needed to get this loan? This is important, right? This is an important part. Make sure you've got your 2018, 2019 taxes ready. If you're like me, my 2019 taxes are not done, right? We're a business and we've got sources of revenue coming from multiple places. Accountants are still working on it, but you don't want to be excluded. They're going to accept your 2018 taxes. So what else is needed? You have to show, or in good faith, that you need this loan to maintain operations and maintain your employees, and that you're going to use this loan to maintain payroll and retain workers, make mortgage, lease, and utility payments. That's, again, the goal. The borrower does not have an application pending for another loan that's similar, right? So you can't double dip here. So if you're already going through a different loan process through the SBA, you're not going to be able to get this loan. So you've got to at least acknowledge that in good faith. And you have not received that loan, so maybe you already applied and received it. You can't, again, double dip. It's a real simple process here. Now, here's 2 points that I thought were very important. No collateral is going to be required for these loans. This is huge. If you're a small business, you understand that typically you go for a loan, you need some level of collateral to maintain that, to get that loan. In addition, no personal guarantees. This is an awesome thing if you are a small business owner. Those 2 bullets right there made me very happy to see that the government is trying to simplify this process as much as possible to allow small businesses to quickly get money into our employees' hands and maintain, right, the economic structure here. Everybody, I hope this was very helpful. A lot of information in a short period of time. If you know a small business owner, please share this video with them. Knowledge is power right now. And the more we can educate small businesses, the more we can get people moving in the right direction, being a little bit more optimistic. Again, my name is Sal Cincotta. I'm a wedding and portrait photographer, and I am a small business owner just like you. So I hope you found this video useful. Again, share it, like the video, comment below. We look forward to hearing from you, but most importantly, we look forward to helping you be successful during this uncertain time.